Hey everybody, it is Ed. So, if you looked at the thumbnail and you clicked on this video, you should have an idea of what this video is about. I remember hearing a little bit about this in the not too distant past, but haven't heard much since. And then this morning, I got an email from one of my viewers, Brad. Thank you, Brad. Once again, always pulls through with awesome information for me. He let me know that, well, the documentary is apparently pretty much ready to come out, and it looks like on Paramount Plus, and it looks like it's going to be released, I believe they said August 15th. All right, but there is an article here I want to read to you if you will listen. It says it is an 11-minute read. I found this on Yahoo, and the headline is How Elvis Made His Classic Comeback Special. Director Steve Binder revisits working with the king of rock and roll for a make or break situation. All right. He has directed some of the biggest names in music history, from Tula Clark to Diana Ross. But Steve Binder knows there's only one musician that everyone wants to talk with him about. Somebody said to me years ago, Steve, no matter how many shows you do, you'll always be remembered for Elvis Presley's show. Binder tells Yahoo Entertainment with a knowing laugh. And they were right. 99% of the time, everybody who approaches me wants to hear about Elvis. Consider it both the blessing and the curse of helming what's not only the greatest televised concert that the late singer ever shot, but also one of the greatest televised concerts of all time. That would be 1968's Singer Presents Elvis, better known as the 68 Comeback Special, which revived Presley's then moribund singing career after a lengthy stint cranking out increasingly silly Hollywood movies. Wow. With the special poised to celebrate its 55th anniversary this December, Binder leads his first-hand knowledge of how it all came together to the new documentary, Reinventing Elvis, the 68 Comeback Special. Directed by John Scheinfeld and produced by Spencer Proffer's Meteor 17, the film premieres exclusively on Paramount Plus in the U.S. and Canada on August 15th, followed by an international streaming release in the UK, Latin America, Brazil, France, Germany, Switzerland, Austria, and Italy on August 16th. Binder and Bruce Gilmer are also executive producers. Here's a picture of what the poster looks like. You can see that this is going to be part of the thumbnail, so you probably saw some of it, but this is what the full picture looks like. All right, and then continuing, it says, considering the plethora, whatever, of Elvis projects working their way through Hollywood in the wake of Baz Luhrmann's Oscar-nominated movie, the director admits that he required a little extra convincing to participate in Reinventing Elvis. Binder was a creative consultant on Luhrmann's Elvis, with the breakout Stranger Things star Dacre Montgomery playing Binder in the film's recreation of the 68 special. I was approached by Spencer and John and told them, look, guys, why should I do another project about this special, Binder recalls. And they said, because you're the only guy that was there from the very beginning to the very end. That was their pitch, and I loved it, so I said, amen. Excuse me. Speaking with Yahoo Entertainment in 2018 for the special's 50th anniversary, Binder shared the broad outline for how the program came together. Originally pitched by NBC to Presley's notoriously controlling manager, Colonel Tom Parker, as a Christmas special, the telecast instead morphed into a celebration of the singer's influences and the early years as a rock and roll firebrand. Although that shift in direction made Parker furious, Binder and Presley remained true to their shared vision and successfully sidelined the manager during the months-long production process. We were mirrors of each other, Binder muses now. We had the same internal fire, and we were willing to put in the work. My whole experience with Elvis was positive, from the very first day I met him to the very last day we said goodbye, and I never saw or talked with him again. You're constantly hearing this yin and yang about him, that he was a great guy and he was also a womanizer. But I want to live with my experience from 68, where I really loved the guy. Reinventing Elvis takes a deeper dive into the making of the comeback special, featuring interviews from some of the surviving performance and audience members, as well as Presley experts placing it in the context of the times and the singer's career. But as the filmmakers knew, Binder remains the final authority on this particular slice of rock history. The now 90-year-old director shares some new stories from his one-on-one collaboration with Presley and why he thinks that Tom Hanks should have gotten an Oscar nomination for his divisive portrayal of Parker in Elvis. And by his own admission, Presley had a steady string of on-set affairs, but with his leading ladies. The one exception, Mary Tyler Moore. What? All right, whatever. And there were certainly plenty of women on the set in the comeback special, both in the audience and sharing the stage with Elvis, who Binder says lived on the NBC studio lot during the shoot while his wife, Priscilla Presley, and their then newborn baby, Lisa Marie, were living elsewhere. Elvis had rented a home for Priscilla and the baby in Beverly Hills and didn't want to waste time traveling back and forth, the director recalls, adding that he wasn't personally aware about whether or not his star got up to any hanky-panky on the set. I'm the most naive person in the world, Binder says, chuckling. If he was doing anything, I was oblivious of it. I was focused on doing the best special I possibly could, but I'm sure somebody in his shoes, and there aren't very many, were magnets to women. Binder also doesn't recall any personal set visits from Presley's wife and daughter during the months-long shoot. In fact, he didn't have his first meeting with Lisa Marie, who passed away in January, until decades later, and even then it was over the phone. Lisa called me up one day and said she was very disturbed with all these rumors going around that Elvis may still be alive, he says. And that's when she was still married to Michael Jackson. She wanted to take on the press, but I advised her not to do that. I said, that's what they want you to do. Just let it happen and it'll eventually burn out, which it did. That was Binder's only contact with Presley's daughter. But he says that he's a big fan of the singer's granddaughter, Riley Keough. She's sensational. I've never met her, but she's a terrific actress. I think it might almost be a detriment that she's so tied to her grandfather because she can make it on her own. She's that talented. All right, and you know what? It goes on, but I got to be honest with you. I'm getting a little parched and I'm getting a little tired of reading it, but you get the gist of it. So it looks like that we are going to have a nice little documentary with Steve Binder, who is 90 years old at this time. I don't know if my dogs are going crazy, but they are. But here it looks like, oh my God, and this was in 2008. So that's what they're saying this photo is from. But yeah, I got to tell you, I'm definitely looking forward to this one. And I actually can't wait to watch it when it does come on Paramount Plus. And I'm sure I will come on and give my 2 cents for what that is worth after I take it in and watch it. But yeah, let me know what you think. My God, dogs, quiet. All right, but yeah, something you will be interested in. If so, leave me a comment. And I appreciate you all watching. And again, if you look at the description in this video, you will see that I am offering limited edition Kingscourt reproduction buttons that are numbered, initialed by myself. And it also comes with a bonus CDR of my very first concert. So if you're interested in that, check the details in the description of this video on how you can obtain them if you would like. All right, everybody. I do appreciate you watching, and as always, be good to yourselves, be good to each other. Take care.